Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be installing an Underglow rock light kit for my Toyota 4Runner. Let's go ahead and take a look at all the parts and tools we're going to be using for this job. This here is the product that we're going to be installing today. This is a 8 rock light kit from MICTUNING. MICTUNING was nice enough to send this out to me to do a review and install video for you guys. They also sent me 2 extra pods here in case I need 2 extra lights. And basically the entire kit is going to come with everything you're going to need to install on your vehicle. Alright, went ahead and took everything out of the box. You can see here it comes with the instruction manuals and a wiring diagram to help you with the installation. These are the lights that came with the kit. There's 8 of them, and you can see it comes with a male plug and a female plug. And all you need to do is just chain them together. It comes with 4 extension cables, so that way you can extend your pods from the rear to the front. Everything ultimately goes to this box here. You can see one string will go here, and then the other string will go here. And then on the other side, you'll see there's just a positive and a negative, and also the switch to turn it on and off. In my case, I'm not going to be using the switch, and I'm going to be wiring this straight to my aux beam, so that way my aux beam control panel can turn on the lights. It also comes with 8 of these mounting pads that you can use. You can see here it has a little recess, so you can put the wiring in there, whatever direction you need it to go. Now, I'm not going to be using these as I'm not going to be installing them on this, but if you needed to, you can use this. It also comes with these 4 as well. This is a round one, and you would use this if you were putting this on a tube. And also in the kit, it came with this stainless steel hardware that you can use. And we're not going to be using any of this since I don't want to drill any holes in my vehicle. But it's nice that they include this with the kit. And in the extra 2 light kit, it comes with the 2 lights itself, just like before. It comes with 1 extension cable to daisy chain. And it also comes with the hardware and mounting that we're not going to be using. But it's nice to see that it comes with that as well. Now these are some of the supplies and tools we're going to be using for the job. You can see here we're using super strength molding tape. This is normally used to hold on like side trim or side door molding. And it should be pretty weather resistant as those usually live outside. But basically we're going to be using some of these strips and we're going to be putting it on the light. We also have some zip ties so that we can zip tie the wiring. Some wire strippers so we can cut some of the wires. I also have this connector kit here, and we're going to be using this to wire up the wiring to the aux beam. And this is just rubbing alcohol to clean some of the surfaces so that way the molding tape has a better adhesion. Let's go ahead and get started with the job. Alright guys, I got one of the lights here, and normally you would use this mounting pad to mount it. You can see it just goes over like this. It's got some channels in here for the wires, but I'm not really sure how you're going to run the wires when the wires are going up top here. This bottom one maybe will work. Like maybe you can kind of wrap it in there if you decide to use this. Since I'm not going to be drilling holes into my frame, what I'm going to be doing is, you can see here, I've put a piece of that molding tape on the back, and I just cut a piece out, and you can see I did it for all the lights already, and this is what we're going to use to attach it to the vehicle. Now, if you're a little paranoid, you can obviously add more tape. You can see here I have a lot of extra, even though I already did all 10 lights, and you can definitely fill it up if you want extra adhesion. Now, before you move forward, it might be a good idea to test to make sure all the lights are working. You can see here I've attached 5 lights to this string on this side and 5 lights to that string. You may only have 4 lights on one string. Either case, it's going to be the same thing. And then on one of the sides here, it actually had this plug in there that you're going to want to save since you're going to want to cap off the end. And on this one, you're just going to have a positive and negative. So it's already plugged into my spare battery here. And we're going to go ahead and flip the switch just to make sure all the lights are working. Okay, you can see there, all of them are working, so we can move on to installation now. Alright guys, before we get started, I'm going to figure out how to mount the box to my vehicle. Now there's a lot of options. You can drill holes, you can use that double-sided tape and just stick it on the back here. Now fortunately for me, back in the days when we used to use relays to power lights and things, I put these riv nuts in here and they used to hold all the relays along the side right here. Alright, here's a closer look at the 2 riv nuts that I have in here, and fortunately for me, they do line up with the box here. All I had to do was make these holes a little bit bigger, and I'm able to mount it to the side of my fender here. So I'm going to go ahead and mount this box, and then we'll talk about the wiring next. Alright, the box is mounted securely now with the 2 strings going out to the sides, and then on the bottom, it's going to come back up to this plug here. Now on this kit here, if you were to wire this directly to the battery, you would just wire the red and black to the battery. Since I'm not going to be using this switch, I'm going to be disassembling this, and MICTUNING actually makes this really simple. You can just basically twist off the wire here on one side and twist off the other side here. And basically I'm not going to be using this switch, so I'm going to set it aside. And then on this side here, since I'm not going to be using the factory wiring here with the fuse, I'm going to cut it off so that way I can wire it directly to the aux beam. All right, here we are. I just cut off the connector here on this end and trimmed off a little bit of the wiring. Now I could use a wire connector and plug it into here, but I don't have the right fitting, so I'm just going to go ahead and just use the bare wire and wire it to the aux beam. I've already put a 5 amp fuse in here to run the circuit, and I'm going to go ahead and put the red and the black on here. All right, now that I've got those two connected, I'm going to go ahead and reconnect the connector here. Again, I'm not going to be using this switch here. And then I'm going to twist this back on. Now, if you do plan on using the switch, then you're going to have to run this part of the wiring through the cab here, through the firewall. And if you want to see how to do that, you can check out my aux beam video where I run the aux beam wire through into the cab. It's basically the same thing. There's going to be a rubber grommet down here where you can pass through the wire, and you can use a wire snake to fish the wire through. Okay, at this point we're ready to wire our lights in, and the first thing you kind of want to do is make sure you test fit where you actually want your lights to be. Do you want them to be in the fender? Do you want them to run along the frame well like I do? And make sure you have enough wiring and also have a game plan on how to attach the lights. Now in my case, I'm just going to be using the double-sided molding tape, so there's a lot of options there. And if I were you, I would take some masking tape or something and tape the lights where you think they're going to be, plug it up and turn it on just to make sure it looks good. Now I've already did that, and what I've decided is I'm going to be running 3 along the rail here, back to 2, and then on the other side I'm going to run 2 in the front and then 3 on the rail. Now if you just have the 8-pot kit, you can run 2 lights in the rear fender there, connect the extension, 2 lights in this fender here, and then extension back up to the box, and that should be just enough. One thing to keep in mind is make sure the female end is going back to the box, since the box has 2 male ends on it. That way you can connect it, otherwise you're going to have to flip everything around. Alright, now that I figured everything out, I'm going to go ahead and start installing the lights and running the wire to the box here. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put it on a time lapse for you guys because it's kind of a little boring to watch, but once I finish I will show you guys how to run the lights through the fender here and all the way to the back of the vehicle. Later, and we are all wired up. Let me show you guys how to run the wire from the front all the way to the side here, and from this side all the way to the back. All right, so for this wire here that's going that way to the side here, we just ran it down over here, and you can basically tuck it right behind this fender, right behind all these evap system here, and it's going to go right down here. All right, following that line back down here, you can see there's a fresh zip tie right there. That wire right there is the wire. And if you follow this brake line down to the wheel well, let me show you. So there's that line again. It's right here. It's hard to see, but it's that fresh wire right there. And it's just following the brake lines, and you can just zip tie it to the brake lines and basically follow that brake line all the way down the frame. If you follow those brake lines, you'll see it just goes right here all the way back over the fuel tank. All right, we're down here at the fuel tank, and you can see you just keep zip tying it up, and it goes all the way to the back down the center. All right, we're right above the differential here, and you can see all the wires just go right up there. It's actually where all the differential locker wires are running. So you can just run that right along the top here and into the lights or into your wheel well if you so choose. Now for the other side, you could choose to run it down the front, which is what I did. I just ran it under this bottle here into this area, and you can get access to the wires right there. But what a lot of people actually do is they run it this way, back across the firewall. And then once you get it to this side, you can just follow the brake lines again, and it'll be the exact same thing as the driver's side. All right, you guys, we're pretty much all done with the job here. We have everything plugged in, and I waited until nighttime so I can show you guys what it looks like. But all you have to do now is just put in the key and turn on the lights. So as you can see, everything went well and everything is working fine. Now, if you don't like the default color scheme, you can actually change that by downloading the app on the Google App Store or the iOS App Store. You're going to want to search for MICTUNING and download the app. And once you have the app, create an account or use your Google or Apple login, and you'll be able to pair your phone with the actual unit itself. It's very simple to do. It'll just show up on your screen. Just click on it and connect to the device. From there, you'll be presented with a screen, and you can basically create your own palettes. And you can see here I created a Christmas theme. Let me turn that on so you guys can see it. So you can see there it is a Christmas color. It's green, red, and white basically. And here's another theme that I made. It's red, white, and blue for the United States, and I think it's pretty rad. So you can control all kinds of things on here, like the speed of the lights, how long you want the lights to show. In this case, it's showing really rapidly. You can slow that down. You can change the brightness if it's a little too bright for you. And also it has other modes in here where you can basically do a whole bunch of things like red and green only. And you can kind of see it, there's a little watering action, but there's a whole bunch of different presets in here, and you can basically change it to whatever you feel like. Like this one is a green tailing forward. And if you like a specific one, you can just set it as your favorite, and basically you can get to it quickly that way. But since it's Christmas, I'm just gonna leave it as green and red here, and we're gonna enjoy some more local Christmas tree lanes here. Well guys, I wanna thank MICTUNING again for sending me out this product to test and review and also install it for you guys. I have to say it has pretty good build quality, and I'm hoping that it's gonna last in the rain and all that good stuff. And I suspect it will. I don't really see any issues with it. Everything was pretty watertight and built very well. I also have other products like this whip light that I also have installed, and it's made by MICTUNING as well. They also make a similar Auxbeam Switch Pro as well. So if you guys are interested in all of this, I'm gonna leave links down in the video description for you guys in case you guys wanna check out their products. Now, if you wanna get more lights or more extension cords, I'll leave links for that down in the video description as well. I'll also leave all the tools and the molding tape down in the video description as well. Well guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you guys like content like this, make sure you guys check out my other videos on my channel, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. As always guys, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.